Gone Baby Gone. It's been 11 years since we saw these characters. And in Gone Baby Gone, a 4-year-old girl went missing. 12 years later, in Moonlight Mile, she goes missing again. And Patrick is asked to find her. Not long after he's asked to find her, he is beaten up and his laptop is stolen. And this is where he and his friend Bubba go to get the laptop back. They've just been told that the guys who stole it are in a garage. So that's all this is. And I'm sorry, I just want to apologize ahead of time for all the profanity you're going to hear before 9 a.m. Kessel's Car and Repair sat across from Burger King in the part of my neighborhood the locals call Ho Chi Minh City, a 7-block section of Dorchester Avenue where waves of Vietnamese, Cambodians, and Laotian immigrants settled. There were 6 cars on the lot, all in dubious condition, all with "Make an Offer" painted in yellow on their windshields. The garage bay doors were closed and the lights were off, but we could hear loud chatter from the back. There was a dark green door to the left of the bay doors. I stepped aside and looked at Bubba. "What?" "It's locked," I said. "You can't pick a lock no more?" "Sure, but I don't carry a kid on me. Cops frown on that shit." He grimaced and pulled a small leather case from his pocket. He unrolled it and selected a pick. "Is there anything you can do anymore?" "I cook a mean swordfish," I said. He gave that a mild shake of his head. "Last 2 times it was pretty dry." "I don't make dry fish," I said. He popped the lock. "A guy who looks like he does, and he served it the last 2 times I was at your house." The back office smelled of trap heat, burnt motor oil, stale gusts of ganja, and menthol cigarettes. We found 4 guys back there. 2 I'd met before. The fat guy with the audible breathing, and Tadeo, sporting a ridiculous bandage over his nose and forehead that made my own bandage look just a little less ridiculous. Patrick hit Tadeo in the face with what did he hit him in the face with? Well, he hit him in the face. And then the earlier kidnapping scene. The fat guy stood at the far left of the room. Tadeo stood directly in front of us, half his body behind a metal desk the color of eggshell. A third guy in mechanic's overalls was passing a joint when we walked in. He wasn't yet drinking age, and fear seized his face when Bubba entered behind me. Unless the fear made him stupid, it happens. He'd be the least of our problems. The 4th guy sat slightly to our right, behind the desk. He had dark hair. His skin was covered in a sheen of sweat, fresh droplets popping through the pores as we watched. He was about 30 going on a coronary, and you could smell the crank singing in his veins from Newfoundland. His left knee jackhammered under the desk, his right hand patted a steady bongo bean on the top. My laptop sat in front of me. He stared at us with bright eyes pinned to the rear wall of his skull. "This one of the guys?" The fat guy pointed at me. "That's the one fucked up Tadeo's face." Tadeo said to me, "The re-up's coming on that shit, Holmes. Believe it." But there was a hollow catch in his voice that came from trying not to look at Bubba. "I'm Max." The tweaker behind my laptop gave me a broad smile. He sucked oxygen into his nostrils and gave me a wink. "I'm the IT guy up in this shit. Nice laptop." I nodded at the table. "It's my laptop." "Huh?" He looked wildly confused. "This is my laptop." "Funny," I said. "It looks a lot like mine." "That's called a model." His eyes popped against their sockets. "If they all look different, they'd be kind of hard to manufacture, don't you think?" "Yeah," Tadeo said. "You retarded and shit?" "I'm just a girl standing before a boy looking for his laptop," I said. Max said, "I heard you got your head in the right place about this. We were never supposed to see you again. No harm, no foul. You want to bring us into your life? You don't understand how bad that would be." He closed my laptop and placed it in the drawer to his right. "Look," I said, "I can't afford a replacement." He rocked forward into the desk. His whole endoskeleton was surging against his skin. "So call an insurance company." "It's not insured," I said. "This fucking guy, bro," he said to Bubba, then checked the position of his men. He looked back at me. "You're out of this. Just let it go and you'll stay out of it. Run back to your little life." "I'm going," I said. I just want to take my laptop back with me. And a picture of my daughter that's in my bag. The bag's yours. Tadeo moved all the way out from behind the desk. The fat guy stayed against the wall, breathing heavy. The kid mechanic was breathing heavy too and blinking like crazy. I know the bag's mine. Max got to his feet. I know this office is mine. That ceiling, your ass if I feel like it. Okay, I said. Hey, who hired you, by the way? Man, you with the questions. He flung his hands at me like he was auditioning for a Little Weezy video, and then scratched the back of his head furiously. You don't make demands. You go the fuck home. He shooed me with his fingers. Bro, I say one word and you're fucking... Bubba's shot spun him in place. Max let out a sharp shout and fell back into his chair. The chair slammed off the wall and dumped Max to the floor. He lay there for a bit with the blood pouring from the vicinity of his waistline. Bubba said, "What's with all this bro shit lately?" He lowered his gun. It was his new favorite, a Steyr 9mm Austrian, hideous looking. "Oh shit," Tadeo said. "Oh shit." Bubba pointed the Steyr at Tadeo and then the fat guy. Tadeo put his hands on his head. The fat guy did too. They both stood there shaking and awaiting further instructions. Bubba didn't even bother with the kid. He dropped to his knees and lowered his head to the floor and kept whispering, "Please, please, please." "You shoot the guy?" I said. "It's a bit harsh, no?" "Don't bring me on this if you're gonna leave your pair at home," Bubba said. "It's goddamn embarrassing what a civilian you become." I got a closer look at Max as a burst of air left his mouth. He ground his forehead into the cement floor and pounded a fist on it. "He's fucked up," I said. "I barely hit him. He blew one of his hips off." Bubba said, "He's got two." Max began to shake. The shakes quickly turned to convulsions. Tadeo took a step toward him and Bubba took 2 steps toward Tadeo, Steyr aimed in his chest. "I'll kill you just for being short," Bubba said. "I'm sorry." Tadeo raised his hands as high as they could go. Max flopped onto his back. Kettle hisses preceded his gulps of air. "I'll kill you for wearing that deodorant," Bubba told Tadeo. "I'll kill your friend for being your friend." Tadeo lowered his hands until they shook in front of his face. He closed his eyes. His friend said, "We're not friends. He gives me shit about my weight." Bubba raised an eyebrow. "You could lose a few, but you're not an orca or anything." "Shit, man, just lay off the white bread and the cheese." "I'm thinking Atkins," the guy said. "I tried that," Bubba said. "Yeah? You gotta give up alcohol for 2 weeks," Bubba said. 2 weeks? The guy nodded. "That's what I told the wife." Max kicked the desk. The back of his head rattled off the floor. Then he was still. "Is he dead?" Bubba asked. "No, but he's heading there. You don't get a doctor." Bubba produced a business card. He asked the big guy, "What's your name?" "Augustine." "Well, no, really?" "Yeah, why?" Bubba looked over at me and shrugged before looking back at Augustine. He handed him the card. "Call this guy. He works for me. He'll fix your friend up. Fixing's free, but the drugs will cost you." "That's fair," Augustine said. Bubba rolled his eyes at me and let loose a sigh. "Grab your laptop, will you?" I did. "Tadeo," I said. Tadeo lowered his shaking hands from his face. "Who hired you?" "What?" Tadeo blinked several times. A friend of Max's. Kenny." "Kenny?" Bubba said. "You got me out of bed so I could shoot some prick over at Kenny? That's fucking humiliating." I ignored him. "Red-headed guy from the house, Tadeo?" "Kenny Hendricks, yeah. You said you knew his old lady? Said you found her kid once when she went missing?" "Helene." If it smelled of stupid, Helene just had to be nearby somewhere. "Kenny," Bubba repeated with a bitter sigh. "Where's my bag?" I said. "Other drawer," Tadeo said. Augustine said to Bubba, "So I can call your dog now?" "Augustine, always," Bubba said. "Never Gus." "Never Gus," the big guy said. Bubba gave that some thought and then nodded. "Go ahead, call the number." Augustine flipped open a cell and dialed. I found my bag in the desk drawer, found my daughter's picture in my case files too. As Augustine told the doctor his buddy was losing a lot of blood, I put the laptop in my bag and walked to the door. Bubba pocketed his weapon and followed me out of the garage. That's it.